Hello. Hello, hello.
Are
Can
we
everyone
on
hear us? Hopefully that isn't too loud. Hello. How's everyone doing? Ah, there we go, good. The chat plugin's working as well. Sorry, this is my first time doing this alone without Dimitri's supervision, so I was a little anxious things would go wrong, but I think we're all good. Hello, hello. Okay.
I might test mic. Can you hear me well? Hello.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like there's only
Cool. Thank you.
good sound. Good. Okay, dope. All right. I guess I'll kick things off then. So, welcome guys to the Top Drives June Q&A. My name's Caleb. I am the community coordinator on Top Drives, and I'm joined by.
I am Maria, product manager on
Yes.
Top Drives.
The
was
bastion
good.
of knowledge.
We clearly practiced this.
Yes, definitely, loads. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us once again on this Q&A stream. I can see and hear you on Twitch. Sweet, great. But yes, thank you all for joining us once again. If this is your first time here, I think the name is pretty self-explanatory. We've taken a couple of your questions. We're going to answer them for you now, go into a little bit about what's going on with Top Drives, and hopefully give you guys some information, some stuff that you want to know about the game, about what's upcoming in the game. So for future reference, if any of you guys haven't asked a question, and on next month's stream you want to ask a question, if you head over to the KTU Play thread, which I'll be posting every month, you can ask your questions in there. The top 5 questions, so we picked five questions today, you'll get a carbon fiber pack in the game. So you've got plenty of reason to come and ask us some lovely questions. Of course, we won't just be answering those. We've got a bunch we're going to go through, and if we have time, we might take some questions from the chat as well. So yeah.
So the chat is not showing all the messages on the big chat.
It's not showing all the messages on the big chat.
Oh, they're showing again now.
Yeah, I
Seems
think.
like there's a little blip. Okay.
Yeah, I think. Oh, wait a minute. We want to be a multi-stream, I think, because now we should be able to see everything from all the chats. I think.
Well, I'll just keep a lookout on the smaller chat.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good now.
Oh, okay, cool.
There we
Oh,
go.
sweet.
Okay, now we
Yay.
can see everything. All right. Sorry, minor
I like
technical
it.
hiccup
Bigger
there.
letters I can read.
Yeah, that's always handy, isn't it? All right. Well, I guess if we're ready, we should jump into the first question that we've got today then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's bring this up here. Just going to take this down a little bit just so we can still see ourselves. There we go. So our first question comes from Alex the Driver, who asked, after both two-tone and famous tracks in very quick succession, are we going to see persistent challenge content? The community would love that. Smiley face.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're aiming to try to keep up with a regular cadence between collection series.
Cool.
There's not much I can add to this question, to be honest.
Yeah, I suppose we can't just go ahead and
that's
announce.
our goal is to keep up with the cadence
Yeah.
that we're achieving now.
But yeah, I'm really glad to know that people have been enjoying the latest 2 collection series. That's really good to hear. So we'll try and keep it up. So yeah, I guess that's the answer to that one. Maria is wearing a shirt with Dimitri on it.
Is this Dimitri?
From now on, I guess it is.
I don't know.
By the way, to quell anybody's fears, don't worry, Dimitri is still around. He is still at Hutch. He's still here. He is just moving on to a different role within Hutch, so I'm not sure how much he'll be joining our streams at the moment. He's out of the office today. But yes, don't worry. He is not gone. But yeah, let's take a look at another question here.
Ooh, can I read?
You can read. Go ahead.
From Collapser. Hello. Recently, there's been an acute issue with updates that break the game. Are there any plans to launch a test server, possibly with additional small rewards, so that at least players can test bugs? Not in the near future, but we have discussed a possibility in the future,
But yeah.
having some kind of beta. But that's quite far down the line
Yes,
if we do it.
we should stress there that do not expect that anytime soon, and it's very much not anything set in stone, so don't expect that. But we do understand that there were a couple of issues which resolved pretty quickly, but we're always doing our best to get through those issues, sort them out as quickly as possible. and yeah, just make the game as fun as possible for you guys.
Like the issue that was occurring in 14.71 of the opponents then not showing in the right order, that has such a low repro rate that even if we had a beta server, we need to have quite a significant number of players in there. And so yeah, we also need to consider whether that would be the best solution to try to find these issues that have very, very low repro rate. Because we did all the QA and we didn't perceive it. Not all players were experiencing it, so we have to discuss that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right. We will just have to see, I suppose. But yeah, I think that pretty much answers that question. So let's take a look at the chat. What are people saying? He's a big boy now. I'm assuming you're talking about Dimitri. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm not a big boy.
I've only been here 2 months. I'm not sure if I count as a big boy yet.
You're a big boy.
Okay. I'll accept that.
I think there are some questions further up that are getting...
Oh, yeah.
They're getting buried in some other awesome questions in chat. Oh, when does the cart changes come? Well, the plan is that it will come in 14.8.
Yes, that is the current plan.
We might be doing a smaller release before then. We're not sure yet. To potentially, we're working on trying to improve the performance and stability of the game. So, yeah, we might do a smaller release to release that, but we'll have to see. The car corrections that will have the token compensation that I saw Robin shared some details with you on Discord. That should be coming out in 14.8.
Yes, so please do look forward to that. There will be more information in the future about what that will entail and how this is all going to work.
And then Luca says, when we won't have to wait until 11 p.m. to the end of event until 2 a.m. for daily reward. Daily reward, we're not planning on changing when it refreshes. For the end of event, we should start going back to the QA because we did that server change in the back end. We now need to go and test because the work is done. It's in a QA stage, so we'll be going back onto that. I don't know when that will be ready, but yeah, we're going to continue work on it.
Cool. Let's have a look at these. Have we got anything else in the chat here that we can answer before we go on to our next selected question?
Any plans to bring the game to other platforms?
Don't think we've got anything in the
Not at the moment. It's something that we're always discussing. Nothing to share right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trade's not planned.
Yeah, that
card trading
will not happen. I don't think it's a collectible card game and not a trading card game, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not I could have very unintended consequences on your experience and how collecting and getting the best hands for winning a prize.
I can understand how trading might seem like a really cool feature to have on the surface, but I think the moment you go into thinking about how that would affect the game and the balancing and everything like that, it could be a little bit of a disaster. So yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, Dimitri's saying we need to get closer to our microphones.
Oh, we should get closer.
Dimitri is not here, but he is listening.
He is still exerting his influence even now.
What?
All right, hopefully that's a little better.
Oh, cool. We could go back to the questions and then scroll back up.
Yeah, sounds good. So the next question, kind of related to what we were just talking about. I'll take this one if you don't mind.
Yeah.
From Full Child, I'm getting the sense that the next update is close and that it will have the eagerly anticipated retune feature. What can you tell us about PL 14.8 and what will it contain? So, am I right in saying that retuning is not?
So retuning, which we're now calling respecking your upgrades, that is going to be released with the physics changes, which are not in 14.8.
Mm-hmm. So yes, you're going to have to wait a little while longer for that one, but hopefully it will absolutely be worth the wait. But as we did say in 14.8, we'll have car corrections and the car correction compensation feature, which should be really, really cool. We're just in the process of ironing out a few things about that, but hopefully I will have an update to share with you on that very, very soon. So stay tuned, and I will be sharing information on it. Hopefully it'll be a slightly more in-depth update than usual, because obviously we understand that this feature might not be immediately obvious like how to use it. So we're going to make sure that like everyone's really up to speed with how this is going to work, what you're going to be able to do. So we're just going to aim for very clear communication on that. But that's all I can say right now. So just keep your eyes peeled, I suppose. Is that Dimitri or Caleb? This is Caleb. Unless you're looking at Maria's shirt, which apparently is Dimitri now.
Cool, Dimitri. I think there were a bunch of questions about the compensation further up.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Would be nice to see those we've collected. Like some kind of inventory system to see how many veteran tokens. Yeah, that's honestly on the quality of life. We're still going to keep prioritizing the fusing a duplicate legendary to give you an advantage, and being able to see the track sets before entering an event. Those are our two top priorities for quality of life.
Yeah. Any rough idea when 14.8 may be coming? I can't really answer much about that yet, but stay tuned. In the coming weeks, there will be information.
From Norbert, Robin mentioned you will get upgrade tokens when your upgraded car goes up in rarity. Does the same happen when it goes down in rarity? Yes. Not much more to say there. With token compensation, will I be able to do a tune like 7, 8, 9? So when you receive tokens, you'll receive fuse and upgrade tokens, and then you use them however you want. Yeah, again, not much to say there. Joshua, so the question I had with the fuse tokens that come with the card changes, could that be turned into a system where you could get fuse tokens as rewards? I think it would be a good currency to add and maybe alternate with rewarding slots. Yeah, it's not out of the question. We've developed the technology in a way that if we wanted to, with a small amount of work, we could do that. We're not releasing that possibility, when we do the card correction. But yeah, it makes sense to consider it.
Cool. What else have we got? Are any further down?
Is Dimitri gonna make a song? I don't know, Dimitri. Are you gonna make a song?
He's lurking in the chat in here somewhere, so you can ask him directly.
Is there anything else? Will people who have maxed Epic, which they maxed as Ultras, for example, have the upgrades? So any car that changes rarity and has any kind of upgrades or fuses, it will be essentially reset to 1.0 state, and then you'll get those upgrade and fuse tokens as compensation of the rarity the card was before changing.
Cool. Should we take one of our next questions?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let me just do... okay. Do you want to read this one? Shall I? We're at the fourth one.
Kewell?
Cool?
Cool?
Cool.
Okay. A lot of people like the way you did the active event. The possibility to play event challenges with no item necessary. Will you keep this new format for future events? I'm really sorry to give a non-answer, but it is the best answer I have, which is we have to just review how it went, because we have to look at the data, we have to look at qualitative based on your feedback, we have to discuss internally if it makes sense for all collection series to be designed this way. So yeah, we'll have to look at how it went, and then based on our findings decide. But I can't guarantee that it is going to stay. The design is going to remain as it was with famous tracks.
Mm-hmm. But glad to hear lots of people have enjoyed it. Anyway, that's certainly good news.
Yeah, let us know. Honestly, any feedback, please just let us know, because it's extremely helpful to understand. We can look at the data, but hearing what you have to say is really important.
Absolutely. Cool.
Your question?
Yes, I'll read this next one then. So this comes from Andrew Norton, who said, there's a noticeable decline in interest amongst a lot of players I've spoken to recently. Will there be any hype/teasers released regarding the new update? or will it just drop out of the blue as usual? How much notice will we be given regarding what cars are changing RQ and rarity? So we've got a lot in the works in terms of communication for 14.8. We're going to really be showing off a lot of things, hopefully slightly in advance of what's coming. And hopefully that will get you guys really, really excited for it. We really want to try and ramp things up on that side of things. And hopefully you will be seeing that soon. So yeah, I don't think 14.8 will just be dropping out of thin air and then we'll go, there you go. There will be some cool stuff coming. So look forward to that. All right. So those were our 5 main questions. Those
someone
5
was
people.
asking what you're drinking. It
is just water, unfortunately.
Is it? I don't know.
In this mysterious, concealed bottle, which could contain anything. But unfortunately, yes, I'm being boring today. Well, staying hydrated, not really boring. Needs to be done.
Not drinking is fine. Let's see. I think maybe there's some more questions. I'll be the elevator music.
While we look for one.
Yeah, sorry. In the silence, I'm just reading. Are you planning on bringing sorting filters like days owned, win ratio to the game? Yes, it's on the quality of life list. So we'll eventually get to it one day. We have to prioritize it on the value and the pain point that it solves, because we can't do them all the time. So we have to make sure that we're working on the best ones.
We've also got, do you have any plans on adding new tags?
New tags. I assume they're mentioning non-collection series tags. Maybe. Yeah, we have, I think we discussed it in a few live streams. We now have a new teammate. Well, not new really. We have a teammate whose role is a car manager. And so now that we have that full-time role, perhaps he'll be able to look at the tags. So yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
We'll
I find
see.
them fun. How do you plan to fix server issues at the end of finals? Will top drives going forward only have one major update per year? I assume they're 2 different questions. So we are fixing the server issues on our end. Whenever we get reports, we do an analysis trying to find the root cause. In the past couple of months, there have been a few different root causes. It's not all the same. So we're fixing them as we discover what the problem is. Based on we increased the number of servers as well. We managed to do that.
I was going to say seemed like it helped quite a bit.
Yeah,
this
it helps.
weekend.
It's still not perfect though, so we're going to keep working on it. It's a high priority for us because we understand that it's frustrating. Yet we understand that you did your best to try to get your position, and then not being able to defend it or try to get more further to the top is frustrating. So yeah, it's really important to us to try to resolve it.
Yeah. How do I get good? That's a good question, actually.
Well, we have some awesome mods and community.
Yeah, join our Discord server or KT Play communities, and there will be plenty of very experienced players who will be happy to help you out.
Do you want to go back to... someone asking about the car... So will we receive some gold back for the fuse tokens we receive when cars change rarity? So we have a compensation of a compensation. If you have tokens that then expire, because they will have an expiry date, yeah, when they expire, you'll receive some level of compensation in cash and or gold. We need to see the full list, to be honest, before deciding exactly the amounts and how long the tokens are going to last for, so that we get an idea of how long you need really to do the whole admin. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's jump back to our main questions here. Do you want to take one or shall I?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. This one comes from Nigello, I believe. Hey Hutch, last month you said the next update would be new cars. On Discord, Robin said it would be car correction. Does that mean that the next update will be the physics one? So I think we already answered this earlier, but no, physics will be coming later.
Physics and the new ground clearance is currently penciled in to happen after the new cars update. and the new cars update is penciled in to happen after the car corrections update.
Yes, sounds about right. Cool.
All right, I'm going to read this one. Nico!
With 3 O's.
Yeah, lots of O's on that name. Do you have interesting/nerdy stats about the game to share? For example, the most raced car in the game by all players, most maxed cars, or overall amounts, hours played, how many races since the beginning, how many prize cars won, the amount of players playing, distribution between free-to-play and payers, and the average spending, and so on.
Now, Maria, you have to answer every single one of those stats right now.
Well, we have the 5-year anniversary coming up. Caleb is organizing a lot of what we'll be doing around the celebration. So yeah, maybe we could have a data.
Yeah, I think that could be kind of a cool idea if we could do something and we see, you know, how many miles raced or something insane, or like, you know, just overall over the 5 years of Top Drives, that could be really cool. So as part of the five-year anniversary celebration, so we will see what happens there. But yeah.
When I played RuneScape, they had quite a lot of those, maybe once a year, and they were always quite fun. Yeah,
that is cool. It's kind of like when they do those, like if you play on like console games, like PlayStation stuff, they do this PlayStation wrap-up. They show you how many hours of every game you've played all year, what your most played genre was, that kind of thing. So
Spotify makes me ashamed.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the year, it's like, no one can see this. Let's look at the chat. Is there any new proving grounds coming up? There will be more. I don't know when. We are trying to release them at a certain cadence because, you know, I don't know how it is. We're all distributed through the world, so I don't know how it is in your countries, but at least in the UK, a lot of people start taking holiday throughout the summer. So, yeah, I know they were coming out with quite a fast cadence, but that might be a little bit slowed down so that we can focus, for example, on the collection series. Do you have an idea of how many cars are due to change rarity? No, not right now. We have not finalized the data. But we'll let you know when we have the data finalized.
Absolutely. Are you planning to reuse the Halloween and Christmas tags again this year?
Halloween?
I'm not even sure if they were.
Oh, horror
Halloween.
show.
Oh, yes.
Horror show. Potentially, yeah. But sometimes, you know, Call of the Wild, Silver Screen was Silver Screen 2. We have the year of an animal, depending on the year. So yeah, might be on the cards. I think usually Christmas we do try to keep that up.
Sounds good.
Oh, should we do another question?
Sure. Yeah, I'll read this one out. So from Jesse.Sachs, or maybe just Jesse Sachs, I'm not sure. Could you add new sorting filters like days owned, win ratio, etc.? I think many people would like to see this feature to learn more about their garage. I'm not actually sure if that's something we have the like if that's a stat that's recorded in game for something we can do or not, to be honest.
Oh, it was actually a question in the chat. Yeah, it's on the quality of life. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
it's just not high up. It's not a priority right now.
But we're thinking about it. Cool. I guess we'll move on. From Nose Academic, which I think is a great username. Can you bring temporary tags like two-tone, silver screen, or famous tracks as requirements to clubs? At least for the time the challenge is running, this would definitely add some fresh air to clubs.
Right. So the way that we set up requirements in clubs, it requires an update for us to release that. And we try to maintain clubs quite free-to-play friendly in a way. I know that not all requirements and mixture of requirements and track sets allow that as it is right now. And so I think adding those requirements into clubs when the tag is live, we'd have to think about it and try. I can't tell you right now all the consequences, but I think there could be some consequences that we need to consider. Bringing them after the live content has finished, I don't think we do that because we take the tags away and that changes the car data that we have. And so if we wanted to keep them, we'd maybe have to make the temporary tags forever tags, and then that could be quite confusing on the on the long journey of the game, because a single card could have very like multiple tags. Hopefully that was a good enough answer.
I think that was pretty thorough, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but we are planning. I know we keep talking about this in the live streams, but it's still on our roadmap to update the requirements for clubs and give them a refresh whenever we have time.
Yep. Sounds good. Let's have a look at some comments in the chat here.
What about clubs? Will you add any timer to see how many races did we win or lose? Because if opponents are driving with us, it doesn't count toward prize for each event in clubs. I think that's on the quality of life lists. Yeah, similar. Like, we have to prioritize it against everything else. If we were, when we have time to do something on clubs, the priority will be giving a refresh to the requirements and to the track sets. And then once we're over that key priority, I think then we can start looking at other improvements that we can do to the game mode. I know that a lot of players are asking for some kind of rebalancing of the factions so that there's a bit better distribution. There's also some requests about ensuring that the same team doesn't get the top left corner because that creates a disadvantage. So yeah, I think we'd consider those improvements first before showing that counter, because you have a way to work around it if needed.
What else we got? All the best from Colorado, Top Drive's team. Thank you for continuing to make an enjoyable, fun game and improving.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Rocky Mountain Life Prospecting. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Do you have any plans to update or change some car pictures, like with better quality or something like that? I think it can be kind of difficult because there are a lot of cars in the game that are older, and new images of them, either for licensing reasons or just because the car is really old, kind of don't exist. So I think that's quite a difficult one, but I'm not sure if it's something on the plan or not.
Well, we're always working towards getting new cars in the game, so that's where we focus our energy and time in trying to source photos, and they have to go through the licensing process as well, and we have to pick the good photos. Quite a lot of time goes into that. Maybe in the future, if we grow that role in the team, we could have someone looking retroactively, or if in the future we do some kind of, I don't know, like a special card that is a card that already exists in the game. I wouldn't see us going to cars already released to change their photos, unless there was something, wrong with them, like not matching the car, or an issue with licensing. Yeah. Oh, I think, there was a question about new ground clearance, super low or super high. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to tell you. Maybe you tell me. I'm curious which one you'd like. Do you want to do another?
Yeah, sure. So, another question here comes from Sitzi, who asks, is there any future plan for consistency on temporary tags, as in how often they are created, the gap of time between tag announcement? I guess it's kind of similar to the last one, right? About tags.
I think it's to give, I believe the goal here is to give a regular cadence between putting the tag in the game and then starting the content, so that there's a predictable cadence of how long players have to collect before it starts. We're always working towards consistency in the live content in terms of how it's scheduled and when we introduce the tags. Because currently releasing tags is related to having to do an update to the game, that makes it difficult to have a very specific cadence, because we wouldn't want to deprive you from content, because we want to give you, 2 weeks since the update until we start it. And so we discussed maybe in the future having tags being something we can set up server side, but again, this is in the future, so at least in the near term, I wouldn't expect us to be able to provide that regular interval. Are you reading the chat?
I was. I just saw someone say, "Your game is amazing. I love it. Thank you, Johnson Nicholson."
Philip, I have a question. Will you do something in the future in the finals where the baskets will be created in different cup ranges? This may give new players and free-to-play players a better chance of reading prizes. So I think in the last live stream we talked about that we are currently designing an experiment in PvP that could change how we match players and create the different leaderboards. So more news on that, I don't know.
At some point.
Maybe in a quarter, yeah.
We're pretty early on anything to do with that.
Yeah, we're finishing the design of what the first iteration is. And now, you know, we have those priorities that you can see on the roadmap, but once those are done, we're at a stage where someone could start working on them. So it will take some time, but we're hoping, and I really underline hoping, that we will be able to potentially release that first version by the end of the year. We'll see.
We will see. Let's take another question from our document here. From Mark. Could you try some sort of grouping in events so we're not all just thrown into the same event? When you're on between 4 and 6k, playing up against players on 100k plus isn't much fun, to be honest, getting hammered over and over. I guess that's pretty...
Oh, that's what I just said? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. We're like in sync.
Yeah, they know. But yeah, I suppose wait for more news on potential PvP happenings there. Yeah, let's take another one here. Ruffle Waffles, another great username, asked, earlier you guys talked about being able to use duplicate legendaries as a single fuse for other legendaries. Should we expect to see this with the upcoming card corrections update that's coming with the fuse tokens for changed rarity cards?
Oh, you caught me reading the chat. Should we expect to see it? No, not in the card corrections update. Definitely not. So, you know, hopefully not too long in the future. We're aiming, it depends on the progress of the other key priorities that we have on the roadmap. We're trying. We're trying to maybe have it in a few releases from 14.8. I can't commit to more than that, but we are definitely very keen when we have some time. We're progressing, we've done the interface, so like what appears in the game of how that will work, that's done. But we still need to develop with the engineers and then QA it.
Cool. Cody Crows asks, does Top Drives have any merch, shirts, stickers, any of that? I'm not sure if there's been any before my time, but I think I've had like preliminary. I've had a couple people in the office being like, that would be cool. So I don't know.
I think that would be cool.
That would be. I would like that.
I want a bucket hat.
Oh, that would be so good.
With a bunch of cars.
It might be just because I kind of wanted to buy a bucket hat recently anyway, but I'll take a bucket hat with a bunch of cars and a Top Drives logo on it. That would look great.
Is there a way to like moderate the chat we have?
Oh, yes.
A sketchy.
Someone.
And on that note, that's the perfect note. I want to thank our absolute amazing mods.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We see the work that you're doing behind the scenes with the logs, and yeah, thank you very much for keeping our server safe.
Both on Discords and KT Play. You've all been doing a really excellent job, so yes, thank you very much for that. What else we got?
Is it time for another question?
Let's take another question. What have we got?
Chief Pack.
Chief Pack. You want to read this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the changes made in the famous tracks challenge compared to the other ones are pretty good. Will this continue or will you return to the old one with 1 token per challenge? Oh, we already answered this one.
Yes, we're going to have to wait and see, I
Yeah.
suppose, right?
Yeah.
But again, thank you for the positive feedback on that. We do at least know that people have really enjoyed that change. So that will factor in somewhat to the decision making, I'm sure.
And I'll just read the next one. Big Gravy Tunnel. That is an interesting name. That should be maybe, what's his name? The Boring Company, Elon. Elon's new tunnel name.
The Big Gravy Tunnel.
What's your favorite type of car? Seems like body style, saloon, etc. What's your favorite type of car?
Can I say like muscle car? Does that count as a body type?
I have no idea. I'm the wrong person to ask.
I'm gonna say muscle cars. It might be because we don't really get them in England very much, so you don't really see them. So when I do see one, I'm like, damn, that's a cool car. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I see your style.
Mm-hmm.
I like the cube cars.
The cube cars.
Do you know the cars that we have in the game that are just like cubes on wheels? I love it. I find them really cute.
They are great.
I was very happy when I traveled in Japan because they have a bunch of them. And every
cars.
time I saw them, I was like, oh, it's the right one.
They're real. They're here.
Let us know in the chat what your favorite
Yeah.
types of car are. I'm really curious.
Yeah, please chime in with that.
Muscle car is definitely a
Definitely
body type.
Okay,
Yay!
good. There we go. Yes, I'm picking muscle cars. I also really like kind of like older 80s like boxy kind of cars. Cars are so much like rounder nowadays and more circular. I like when things were like square and rigid. I thought it was cool.
Oh, you can get a cube car.
A cube car, there you go, that fits it perfectly.
Car corrections or rarity changes, someone asked. So the rarity change happens as a consequence of car corrections. And it's when a correction causes a card to change rarity that will use the token compensation mechanism for that.
Will we get some car sound updates? Is that in the pipeline at all?
It is on our roadmap in the future. We're focusing on the high-res environments first. We're focusing on giving you more detailed car models. Maybe the next step is the sounds. We'll have to see.
Maybe.
If you know someone who makes great car sounds, let us know.
That makes it sound like they just do it with their mouth.
I know.
Just yeah, put that in.
Yeah, but we're hoping to also increase the authenticity of the game by having more different car sounds. What else?
What have we got?
From Ren.
From Ren.
I love how Ren always manages to make the list.
He does.
Good questions.
He finds a way. Okay. Since you had made a way of protecting cars from unauthorized or accidental selling and fusing with the help of the lock button, is there a way to implement or consider a way to lock collected gold to prevent accidental purchases of packs, tickets, and other commodities that needed gold to use? It would largely benefit people who have suffered countless ways to have their gold wasted on such occasions. I'm not sure.
So we've spoken about this in a few live streams, and we want to take that step slow. So we're trying to fix the problem of mistaken purchases in other ways without adding an extra button you have to tap each time. Because I understand it would solve the problem potentially for, a long time, but that means that for every time you spend gold, you'll have that pop-up you have to interact with, which, at least from our perspective in terms of the whole player base experience, doesn't seem like it's, just friendly, really, so that you can quickly get back to the game. It's a possibility if everything else that we try does not work. So I know that there are some games out there that have like a settings where you can select if you want to always have a little confirmation pop up or not. We could one day do that, but we'll try simpler solutions that are less intrusive before then.
Sounds good.
Kevin Cray, why did the most recent update have darker buttons? Is this a precursor to updated home screen UI? We decided to take the UI improvements slowly. So we have our lead designer that is like owning the whole system. So we have like the holistic end goal that we want to get to, and then as we work on features and improvements to different screens, like we're working on improving the layout of the challenges screen to make it easier for you to see the rewards and the requirements. So as we go through those different aspects that we're working on the game, like we're hoping to make these changes as we go, instead of like locking ourselves away for 6 months, changing the whole UI and look of the game and then release it in one go.
Yeah. Jesse Sachs has also jumped in the chat, one of our question askers from earlier. Just some feedback. I really liked that the famous tracks tag got announced and used this fast. I was really disappointed I had to wait so long for Silver Screen and Two-Tone. Well, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's again really interesting feedback. Seems like we have some different perspectives going on, which it means that the decision is hard to make. What else? A little live pack opening. Maybe one day. Is up to
Maybe
you,
one day.
It's up to you,
Maybe
Caleb.
one day. Not today. I'm not prepared. But that could be cool eventually.
What else? Will we get a new game mode? I remember years ago the beta had a quick race mode with an easy, medium, and hard. It told you track type, but was random tracks versus AI. Would be good for players who struggle in PvP. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. So developing new game modes is definitely on the map. That's on our roadmap. We are constantly thinking and keeping track of ideas that we should explore. At the moment, we have other priorities to work on. So, for example, the new player experience and trying to teach them how the game works. Like on city streets, you have speed bumps, and so you can't use low ground clearance cars. Improving the PvP experience, improving the store experience. So all of these things are on the roadmap. We want to deliver on them first and fix those areas and make those improvements before we consider the new game modes.
On that note, it took me an embarrassingly long time when I was starting to play Top Drives and learn about it to work out that there were speed bumps in city streets and that I needed to use a higher ground clearance car to be able to get through that effectively. I was like, why is my car slowing down here?
I had the same thing. I think a lot of players feel that. So there's some just obvious things that we can do to make the game better and more fun for you and your progression just to feel exciting throughout the journey of the game. And so we want to work on that first before bringing in a new mode. Do we have more?
I think we've actually reached the end of our list of questions, but we can talk to the chat for maybe 5 more minutes here before we wrap up, I think. If anyone's got any last things they want to ask.
Will the car corrections update include a lot of corrections or relatively minute? It would be helpful if you gave me context on what minute is. And then I don't know because the data's locked in. It's not going to be 10 cars. If that, it's going to be more than 10 cars. What else?
Can challenges be better spread out? They keep coming one after another and we're very overwhelming. Many cannot afford to play hours a day. Well, it's funny because a lot of people are really happy that there's challenges coming one after the others. So that's just proof there that we really have to take into consideration everyone's feedback and feedback internally and all sorts of different factors when we decide about the frequency of these kinds of things. But I appreciate the feedback either way.
Yeah, and thanks, Cody, for the positive feedback. We'll take it back to the team. Like, honestly, we're here to make you have fun and that you're enjoying the game. And so hearing when you're having fun and you have positive things to say, we have to listen, to the constructive criticisms. It's very important for us to improve the game overall. But it's just sometimes it's so nice to hear something that's positive. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
I've got to say that as community coordinator now, and I am, constantly looking over our communities, seeing what people are saying. It does mean a lot when we see the people are just like, you know what, I'm really having fun with this game. So all of you people out there that say that, thank you very much. That's very nice.
So Fanny says, please make sure to include more muscle car sounds when you update car sounds. Well,
I'll be providing those.
Yeah, Caleb loves muscle car sounds. So what's your best muscle car sound?
Oh, don't put me on the spot like this.
Come on.
But they're like the noisiest ones too. They're like,
Wow.
That sounded. I couldn't even. I wanted to go louder than that, but then.
Is that good enough, though, Fanny? Can we just record this?
We've got it on the stream now. We can just cut it out, throw it in the game, be done with it. Just that loop over and over.
Oh, thanks everyone. You're so nice. Who's the better Top Drives driver out of both of you? I don't know in Top Drives, but in real life, I'm a pretty good driver. I'm actually going to a track day tomorrow.
I do not have a driver's license, so
Oh, well
I'm
then, I'm a winner.
thinking you might be better. I don't know. We have to test it.
One out of one. That's my goal.
Well, now I have to be better at Top Drives, or else I'm 0-2 there.
Aw. She just like asks for cozy feedback. And we're getting it all.
Make them all wholesome now.
Yes.
Yes, thank you guys. Well, that might not be too much of a bad note to wrap up then, to be honest, if we're getting towards, if we got to the end of our questions here. But yeah, I think that'll probably do it for today's stream. Thank you so much to everyone who asked a question, and thank you so much to everyone who has come into the chat and asked questions and given us some lovely feedback. We always really appreciate it. And I'm really starting to enjoy doing these streams and being just in the community in general. So thank you guys for that. That's really lovely. If you want to ask a question on next month's stream, please keep an eye on KT Play. I will post the forum thread about 2 days in advance, so keep an eye there. You can ask a question there, like I said. 5 favorite questions that we picked from that thread. You'll win a CF pack, so you've got plenty of reason to come and ask us lots of questions. So yeah, and if you haven't joined our communities on Discord and KT Play already, please jump into those. It would be lovely to hear from you.
Yeah, it was lovely seeing you. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, and I guess that'll wrap it up then. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya. It worked. Hold on.
Bye.